What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and wah wah wee wah is the final throes, the death throes of games journalism have reared their ugly heads because they realize that in spite of them trying to pretend like this whole Sweet Baby Inc. gamers pushback thing was a nothing burger, it continues to gain more and more and more traction. So you had various hit pieces come out in the last week, including The Verge, which was hilariously misrepresentative of the actual movement. You also had the reporter go on an unhinged rant in the Discord for Sweet Baby Inc. Everything about this is absolutely hilarious. We're going to get into all that right now. By the way, if you are a gamer and you happen to be a PC gamer, I have long partnered with Meta PCs. Link in the description below. Promo code The Quartering. You can completely custom build from the ground up. Company's military owned, anti-cancel culture. They've stuck with me for many years. So when you're in the market for a new computer, I put together this list with them of kind of like a good, better, best option if you're looking for spots to start. Obviously, a lot of people like to, build each particular part. That's fine. You can even see my exact computers on here. This is the one I'm on right now. Obviously, that's kind of overkill for most people, but when you're in the market, remember Meta PCs, link in the description, promo code The Quartering. Now, here is the article from The Verge. I actually want to go to their complete meltdown in the Discord server first. I've nearly ratioed them. They put, the return of Gamergate is smaller and sadder. Okay. Then you see Mark Kern here. The Verge admits that portraying the facts would actually harm their false assumptions that Cabrutus has some issue with race, so they left them out. What do you call that? What do you call it when you start out with a conclusion and change the facts to fit your said conclusion? You see this from News Lobster. Update. The writer of The Verge Gamergate 2 hit piece openly admits to having a one-sided agenda, something that we all already knew. They did not want to put an accurate timeline of the events into the story so they could depict Sweet Baby Inc. as victims who didn't harass the Steam curator group. Here you go. You see, journalists tried to claim GG1 was only 10,000 gamers and no real impact. They're trying this again, except Cabrutus has over 300,000 verified Steam accounts. They're desperately trying to downplay it. And then you see here, I interviewed her. Her editors told her that giving an accurate timeline may make it seem as their outlet is implying the backlash was to some extent deserved, a stance they wanted to avoid. Here you see Ash Parrish writing, I hear you and I want to understand this is where we part, ideologically at least. I'll share the conversation I had with my editors about this because in preparation for my piece, I struggled with this particular bit about the conversation I had. Really helped me understand. This is the writer, by the way. Cabrutus and his ilk have a grievance against Sweet Baby Inc. that is rooted in racism and misogyny and has no basis in the reality of how video games work. That's it, period. Well, no evidence of that, obviously, right? They then wrote, when you get into the nitty-gritty of who did what when, not obviously the who's and the what's that are necessary to explaining the story, the central premise gets lost. So what she's saying is this Brazilian guy who just, doesn't want video games to suck, the fact that he's Brazilian, the fact that he's, doesn't have any problem with white people or women, that's inconvenient to our story, so we're going to leave that out. And they continue, and me personally, I have to remember what my piece is ultimately about. And it's about providing a timeline of events. It's bigger than that. It's not about the timeline. It's about explaining that the reason you're hearing about this company called Sweet Baby and Gamergate 2 getting thrown around is because there's a group of people who decided they hate woke video games and found a convenient scapegoat to target and a larger conspiracy to underpin it. So this person admits that they had no interest whatsoever in the actual truth. None. That their entire reason for writing the piece was to smear people and deboost it and to, have you see, again, I interviewed her. Her editors told her that giving an accurate timeline may make it seem as though their outlet was implying the backlash to some extent was deserved. 1,500 tech outlet pieces downplaying this is, dare I say, a bit of an argument in favor of the concept that Sweet Baby Inc. was doing exactly what its critics said it was doing. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. And then there's this other piece that's totally wild. I wanted to find, I hope I have it. Yeah, here. Reflector Entertainment, which is also connected with Sweet Baby Inc., spurred out on their forums, banning 99% of forum users since they were accused of being a Sweet Baby Inc. game. Turns out it's true. The former brand director of Reflector is co-founder and COO of Sweet Baby Inc. Google search confirms. Why do they even want to hide that? Because they know people won't buy the game. People won't buy the game if they know. That's what's hilarious about this. And you have this other, I think I had, there was, I wonder if there was some forum where the writer, left this insane, delusions. I'm trying to find that. You see all the banned users. Here's the return of Gamergate is smaller and sadder. By Ash Parrish, with not a single comment on the article because no one reads The Verge, of course. I mean, the entire thing is such a hilarious disaster, such a hilarious mess that it's like, I don't even know where to begin in terms of just how disingenuous everyone along these lines is being, because it's so nuts that you have all these, just liars, just absolute liars that, they don't have any interest in actually telling the truth whatsoever in terms of, the timeline of things, how things happened, simply because I guess that it's, they don't want any chance. They don't want any chance that people might see a kernel of truth in it. I mean, I don't know, and then here's Ash again. This is the actual post. I was looking for that in real time. It was on my phone, but I think Mark Kern shared it. He's been all over this. Shout out if you're not following Grums. The author of this article, here you go. The Verge reporter leaves preachy sermon for Cabrutus Rambo's Discord service. This makes you an activist, not a reporter, and we all see your lies. So here's Ash, the weirdo loser that wrote this article. I hope those of y'all with an open mind realize that Sweet Baby is not your enemy. Yes, they are. They are the enemy of greatness. They are the enemy of creativity. They are the enemy of any and all gamers. They are the enemy of hope and goodness. They represent everything evil in the world. I hope you realize that, quote, woke is also not your enemy. It is. And the group's continued crusade against woke makes you look bigoted. To who? There are over 300,000 members of this group, and one moron journalist who can't even get a single comment on her article on The Verge is trying to say, who's right here? I hope you understand that non-sexualized depictions of women, the inclusion of people of color and queer people in games themselves, making them and writing about them is a net positive for gaming. Based on what? Just because you said so? Because you're pushing the message? And by the way, nobody said that. This is one of the easiest things to debunk. That's like the classic gaslight that these weirdos are constantly pushing, that, you just don't like that there are queer people in your video games. Nobody's said that. Like, literally, nobody's actually said that. It's just, we know what you're doing. And then it says, what makes me sad is this a pattern of behavior that could really destroy people's lives. You have a group of like-minded people assemble in a common cause. You mean like games journalists? And while I believe you when you say you're trying to clean up your act, there will be those that don't want to clean up their act. So they'll get pushed into private discords with more like-minded folks who will feel that they have more license or freedom to let their worst impulses fly. You know what? By the way, I have a Discord as well as a Guilded, both are chat apps. I'll leave links in the description if you're looking for a Discord where you can talk about Sweet Baby Inc. With other people. If you're a Discord user, go ahead and join there. While I believe, and they'll get even more on the fringe. The things like they talk about get worse and worse until the alienation is complete. They've lost friends, families, jobs, and health because nobody wants to be around this type of behavior. It happened with Gamergate and Q, and it'll happen again. I hope you'll stop digging into Kim Belair's and Alessa Mercanti's social media, posting pictures of them and photoshopping images of them. What? This meltdown, because nobody bought the lies here, and because Jack Dorsey and weirdo leftists don't own Twitter anymore, the meltdown, the absolute meltdown that the media is having, they're having complete spurgouts trying to say, oh my God, you know, you're ruining people's lives, and if you keep standing up against woke DEI in video games, then you're gonna ruin your life. This, my friends, means that you're winning. That the fight against woke mind virus infecting hobbies, you're winning. They know you're winning. This, you know, the games journalism is a wounded animal. That's what it is. And that's when it's at its most dangerous. So be careful out there. Keep the pressure up, be smart, and don't let these losers spin the narrative. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.